Today's Chicago Bears mailbag is presented by Manscaped. Get the Lawnmower 4.0 this holiday season. If you have a dad or an uncle, easy gift is the Lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped. Going to keep things trimmed up downstairs. 20% off with promo code Bears20 at manscaped.com. Lots of super chats here. Here we go. Lucas Sprang. The only concern I have with Fields right now is I hope he wasn't seeing ghosts and doesn't look to take off even with a clean pocket. Love QB1, though. I don't see that. I actually think he's processing quicker. And people that watch film like for a living and know the game better than I do from an X's and O's standpoint, they will tell you just that. I think they're coaching him now to play more free. Get to the top of your drop, and if people aren't open or you don't like what you see, use your legs, man. Do what you do well. And that is be an athlete on top of being a good quarterback. And by the way, all these people were like, oh, well, he's not throwing. He's throwing the football really well. Like St. Brown on that 4th and 10, he breaks contain when the pocket collapses and throws a dart on the run. Not a lot of people are throwing that ball that accurately. This guy's got to make plays for him when he throws. Matthew Lane with a super chat. Biggest need in next year's draft. It's a good question. I think you could argue for a few positions. Defensive tackle or edge rusher. You could argue linebacker, although I will not take an off-ball linebacker in the first round, but it is a big need. You could still argue receiver. You could still argue offensive line. I don't think you could argue any other position. Corner is a position you could target as well. I don't think they'll go that way in round one, but there's enough positions on this team that need work that there's going to be a lot of different directions you could go in. From Bruce Jane, then we'll get back to some super chats. Would you rather sneak into the playoffs or tank for a higher draft pick? This is actually an interesting question. The way I'm just built mentally, I would rather sneak into the playoffs, and a couple reasons why. One, if this team rallies to make the playoffs, that means Justin Fields is red hot come playoff time. I'm not saying this team would go on a deep run, but I'm saying the Bears could be a tough out. Like, you sneak into a weak NFC as a 7 seed, say you go up and play, who would be the 2 seed right now? It wouldn't be the Eagles. It would be like Minnesota. You're telling me the Bears wouldn't have a chance in a playoff game against Minnesota? Kirk Cousins? I'm just saying, like, if you make the playoffs, you should not be upset about it. Now, I understand the other side of it. Hey, win a couple more games so it's not just pathetic, but get a top 5, top 7 pick. I get that too, but I'm not intentionally tanking. Like, if this team can make the playoffs, like, I'm in for that. Now, they're 3-6. They're going to have to really go on a run here. You probably got to go 8 games left, probably got to go 6-2, get to 9-8. Realistically, you're going to have to get to 9 wins probably, and that includes the schedule with Philadelphia and Buffalo, but both those games are at home. Bills just lost to the Jets. It's not impossible, so it's a week-by-week thing. We'll see how the next few weeks go, but I would rather make the playoffs, but if you lose a bunch of games and your quarterback's still balling, that's not a bad thing either. What would you rather see happen? Type P for playoffs or T for tank. Let me know down in the comments section. P for playoffs or T for tank. And I see someone in the chat saying Cousins is on fire. Yeah, he is, and he's a good quarterback, but I'm just simply saying I don't think it would be inconceivable that the Bears would have a chance in a matchup like that. P for playoffs, T for tank. Let me know what you guys think. Marcus Muir, waiting for a Bulls channel for way too long. I mean, there have been ongoing talks. You got to understand at Chat Sports, we got a lot of big priorities, and Bears Now is one of them. So we got to make sure, when we launch new channels, we're not taking away from our bigger channels. So if we launch a Bulls channel, that means we're ready to handle it. So stay tuned. It's a possibility. It probably wouldn't be me solo. We'd probably have some other guys that would help out. But, it could be in the works. Stay tuned, Marcus. Twinquist on the score. Trent Dilfer said if Justin Fields is more of a muscle car because of his size and strength. I saw that, and I saw that was like 2 hours after I mentioned Ferrari Fields. Just want to throw that out there. But, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, too. People are like, oh, well, as great as Lamar Jackson is, he gets dinged up sometimes. Well, first of all, Lamar Jackson's a lot thinner than Fields. Lamar's like 205, 210. Fields is 230, 235. Like, he can take more hits, and Fields is doing a good job of avoiding hits, by the way, so we should throw that out there. Obviously, I don't expect him to run for 150 yards a game or anything like that, but yeah, I mean, when you have that weapon at your disposal, you absolutely use it, both on design situations and just as an improvisation skill set, which he obviously has. Daily basis, I like Soldier Fields because he's always marching. Love it. I love that. Now, if you go to Arlington Heights, maybe it's weird because it's not Soldier Field anymore, but yeah, man, look, I'm open to it. I'm open to any and all nicknames. Leave your Justin Fields nicknames down in the comments. And while you're at that, let me tell you something about Manscaped. Holidays season, it's coming earlier and earlier every single year. It's never too early to start thinking about gifts, whether it's for a friend or for a friend in your pants, if you know what I'm saying. Get the Lawnmower 4.0. It's going to be 20% off plus free shipping when you use promo code BEARS20. You don't want a silent night this holiday season. You want to get things downstairs, and then, some other sounds will be happening later on in your life. Trust me on that one. You think my wife and I got pregnant by accident? Absolutely not. Promo code BEARS20 at manscaped.com. That is manscaped.com, promo code BEARS20. In all seriousness, great products that they have over there. Advanced skincare technology. I used to hate shaving downstairs, but now it's easy and it's comfortable with Manscaped. Darian Wells, your page is the best. We love the support. Thank you guys. Obviously, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, we're having a lot of fun here. Jaxo, another super chat. Appreciate all the super chats today. Playing the Lions this weekend is interesting since Eberflus and Campbell never give up. Yeah, I will say this. We're kind of riding this Justin Fields high right now. We shouldn't completely sleep on the Lions. They've kind of had a weird year, but they've been competitive in some football games. They just beat the Packers. I know the Packers stink right now, but I think that should count for something. If the Bears sleepwalk, they'll lose this game. I mean, the defense is not good right now for Chicago, so they got to show up every week regardless of who they're playing. So, yeah, I mean, I don't expect this to just be an easy dub. I think if Fields keeps playing like this, they will win because Detroit is not Dallas or Miami. The whole thing on Fields, too, is he's not going to play incredible every week. Like, he's going to have some down moments, too. So if that happens this weekend and the defense continues to struggle, that you could lose this game. There's no doubt about it. Darren Wells, Daron Payne would be perfect. Ooh, absolutely. He might be my top free agent target next offseason. I'm excited for Daron Payne. I'm excited to see what Ryan Poles how choosy he is to spend his money. We know he's not going to throw out reckless contracts, but Daron Payne is a guy I'd throw big money at because he plays a position that this Bears team needs better at, and that's defensive tackle. All right, support Bears now by subscribing to us both on the Callin app and here on YouTube. On Callin, we normally go live after every single game with a post-game show, sometimes on Tuesdays, although not this week. Because I have other stuff going on. But trying to get to 500 subs over there. It's 100% free. It's very similar to Twitter Spaces. You got to download the app on iOS or Android. And then if you're on your computer, chatsports.com/BearsCallin. That'll redirect you to our Bears channel on Callin. And then, of course, on YouTube, daily videos here, news, rumors, live Q&As like this one, live shows every Tuesday and every game day. So subscribe, support the show. It's 100% free. We don't charge you guys a dime. Greatly appreciate it. Ogeezer Kieran, Fields is great. Special teams is the coach. Refs are 12th man. The special teams coach. Look, the special teams has actually been pretty good this year. Obviously, the block punt was brutal last week, but this has been one of the better special teams unit. I know Velus Jones muffed a couple punts, but other than that, the return game's been fine. Cairo Santos has been good. Trenton Gill's been good. So I don't have concerns about the special teams. He missed a block, so they blocked the punt. Refs are 12th man. I mean, seems like the Bears have been on the short end of the stick. I mean, the Steelers game last year, Dolphins game. There's been a couple other calls this year. It's been tough, man, but got to fight through it. Got to fight through that stuff. Sangray Kim, I'm afraid Getsy will be poached after this year. Flus has been good, but we should pursue Sean Payton. Imagine JF's skill set plus Payton's offensive mind. Well, you're not getting Payton unless you fire Matt Eberflus. Payton's not going to come be the offensive coordinator, and you're not going to fire Flus after 1 year. But yeah, look, Getsy, this offense keeps doing this. He'll probably get head coaching interviews. I think he interviewed with Denver last year, and they chose Nate Hackett over Getsy, and thank God that happened because the Bears got Getsy out of it. I'm cautiously optimistic Getsy will at least stay here 1 more year because the one thing going against him for getting a head coaching job is this is his first year calling plays in the NFL, and I think teams might be scared off by the Hackett situation, like limited play calling experience. He's been a disaster in Denver as the head coach. I think Getsy might look himself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm going to just grow 1 more year with Fields. Let's build this thing further, and then I'll be ready to be a head coach after that. So I remember when they hired him, I said, if this goes well and Fields takes off, I think you'll have him for 2 years, then he'll be gone. I'm going to stick to that. I hope you get another year of Luke Getsy. That would obviously be huge, and it would stink if you didn't, because then it would be the 3rd play caller in 3 seasons for Justin Fields. Technically 4, because both Nagy and Bill Lazor called plays for Fields his rookie year. Jaxo with a 10. The refs have been a problem, not just in last Sunday's game, but all across the league. Yeah, look, it does seem like it's been worse the last couple years. I don't know what the solution is. What I said in our news and rumors video is I think there needs to be a more strict system. And I get officiating's somewhat of a tough job because no one ever gives them credit for making good calls. We only rip them for the bad calls, and I get all that. But they also make good money, and the repercussions aren't really there when they make huge mistakes that impact games. So you got to find something. Like, if you make a call that directly impacts a game, I don't think you should be able to officiate a game next week. That is what I would do if I was Roger Goodell, if I was the NFL. Like, that Chase Claypool game impacted the game. At minimum, you're getting a manageable field goal attempt that would have forced overtime. So, I think they got to come up with something to limit this crap from happening because it's costing games. It's costing teams games. Do you trust Ryan Poles? Kind of shifting gears here. Type Y for yes, type in for no. I like what he's doing. There's obviously some debate, especially about the Roquan move, but I feel good about where he's at right now. Let me know what you guys think. Y for yes or N for no. Keem with the super chat. What's up, HG? My wife and I will be at Soldier Field to watch Fields put the Lions in league on notice. Well, he's put the league on notice, but that would be a nice message to send if he just wipes out the Lions. Like, hey, NFC North, you're going to have to deal with me for the next decade plus. That would be a lot of fun. Get the bear downs going in the chat for Keem, and shout out to you, man. Have fun at the game this weekend. Logan with the 20 bomb. The Bears team is coming together faster than anyone thought. Next year is going to be great. I trust the front office, and I'm fully behind Fields. We win the NFC North next year. Your opinion on the Bears next year? I think if this season continues the way it is, where Fields keeps getting better and the offense is really good, that going into next year, it's Chicago and Minnesota kind of neck and neck on who will be the division favorite. And if Rodgers and the Packers don't improve the rest of this year, I think there's a chance Rodgers is like, screw this, trade me, or he retires or something, because he might just be like, you know what, I see the shift in the division. I'm not going to stick it out. I'm out of here because, that's kind of how he is. So, if this continues, there's no reason why the Bears can't contend for this division next year and beyond. I'm going to mispronounce this. I'm going to guess Waze Siddiqui. Let me know in the chat. Despite Fields looking great, having a ton of cap space and draft picks next year, do you think the Bears will be ready to compete in 23 or more 24 being our year? It depends what you mean by compete. Like, if you think, if you're asking me if I think the Bears can win the Super Bowl next year, that would be a tall task, right? There's a lot of holes on this team. Your whole defensive line needs revamping. I think Trevis Gipson and Dominic Robinson can be good players. Maybe one of them can be a full-time starter next year, but it's possible they're just rotation guys. You need all new defensive tackles. I like Justin Jones, but if he's your best one, that's not great. At worst, he needs to be your one of your 2 starters. You need an upgrade over him. Linebackers needs full revamping, obviously, and you're not going to be able to fix all this stuff, but if Fields keeps improving, you don't need to be stout at every position. But my point is, it can't just be Fields is balling out and the pieces around him are inadequate. They're going to have to make some good signings. They're going to have to make some good draft picks. Guys are going to have to improve. But what I will say this, Waze, is barring something unforeseen, my expectation for the Bears next year is making the playoffs. Like, at minimum, you make the playoffs. Then 24 and beyond, you're probably like, this is a Super Bowl contender. And wouldn't we all sign up for that? You make the playoffs next year, maybe you win a round, and then in 2024 you got a ton of momentum. Year 4 of Fields, like he's ready to take off even more, and the Super Bowl hype is there. That's where I'm at right now, but that could change. My mind could change in a month on how I feel about all this stuff. Keem with the 5. Bears can go 5-3, make the playoff talks interesting. 4 of 6 L's have been one-score games. True. Fields is driving the team down to score on all of them. Yeah, I mean, look, the Commanders one is the one that hurts, right? I mean, in terms of trying to make the playoffs this year. Take all the other ones out of it. You got into the red zone inside the 5 3 times and couldn't score. A funky pick off a defender's face. Mooney drops the one in the end zone, bobbles it. You don't get the PI call on Pettis on that same drive late. And then the other drive, you get stuffed on 4th and 1. So, listen, you win that game 4-5, you're fine with some games you got coming up. But, yeah, it's not inconceivable. 5-3, you get to 8-9. Maybe that 7 seed has 8 wins. I don't know. I feel like you got to go 6-2. I think you got to get to 9-8 to have a real chance of making the playoffs. Puppy Chula sits, congrats. Harrison is a daddy. Yes, we're expecting in April. We're fired up. Going to have a son next spring, so should be exciting stuff. Master Wu, who would be a good offensive coordinator if Getsy leaves for another team? That's just so hard to even think of. I mean, is Andrew Janocko ready for that promotion, the quarterback's coach? I think he would get a real look. You would want someone from this same system, this Shanahan, LaFleur coaching tree who runs this type of offense. You don't want to change things up. So, if Janocko is ready, then maybe you just make that promotion. You go hire an external quarterbacks coach. I would not want to change the system at all, though. I think this is a system that is tailor-made for Justin Fields. I really, really do. Appreciate all the questions. Tons of super chats. You guys are awesome. All donations really help the channel and the company grow. Allows us to hire more people, add more studios, just like we did before this season. I expect this time next year we'll have even more studios and employees here at Chat Sports. So your donations don't go unnoticed. We greatly appreciate them. Be sure to follow me on social media, Twitter at HGramNFL, Instagram, same handle at HGramNFL. If we didn't get to your questions, you can ask me over there.